Well, a very good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of Breeding to Win. We've got an interesting show because we're going to be featuring two trainer profiles, and we do have an in-studio guest. And great to have David Nieuwenhuisen joining us, and Julie will be chatting to him a little bit later. Speaking of Julie, great to be back and doing a show with you here together.
I know, Grant, great to have you firstly back in South Africa, because I know you've been jet-setting around and doing a lot of hard work abroad.
Yes.
And then I know you were also at the Vodacom Durban July last week.
We missed you at the July.
I know, I missed myself there too.
Oh, is it? Did you watch us on telly?
I did watch you. It looked to be a great event, I must say.
The crowd seemed to be certainly up on last year for me, anyway, just looking through the windows and everything like that. But a great vibe there. And full marks to Gold Circle for putting on a really decent event.
And I have to say, when it comes to the media, Gold Circle know how to look after the media, and everything's very well organised.
Well, absolutely. No, great day. And to top it off, wasn't the racing spectacular?
Fantastic results, I thought. Obviously, there was drama, with the objection, but that is racing at the end of the day.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. You're going to have your ups and downs, and unfortunately, things like that. You just don't like to see them happen on those big days.
No, absolutely. But great, and congratulations to all the winning connections on the big day as well. But we do have some industry news, and we'll start off with Samanga Kamala. Now, he missed riding out on July Day because he was injured, but certainly gets a bit of a boost because he's going to be riding at the Shergirl Cup. And it'll be great to see Bling out at Ascot, and I'm sure a lot of his fans will be delighted he gets the chance to go out and ride at the Shergirl Cup, which is a jockeys event. Do you know much about it? It's a jockeys event. Basically, the local guys in the UK take on an international field, and sponsored by the Aga Khan, and named after one of his greatest racehorses as well, in the form of Shergirl.
Anton Marcus represent?
Anton's been there. We've had a few South African jockeys.
South Africa, and I think Dougie at one stage also represented.
So a fantastic event out there, and I'm sure Bling is going to have a legion of supporters out at Ascot as well.
I'm sure he will, and we'll be rooting for him as well. So he's riding with a lot of confidence, and you know what, for him to actually get this championship under wraps would be fantastic, because he's really worked so hard. Absolutely. And he deserves it.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing him back in action. I think his lead's pretty much unassailable now, isn't it?
It is. Look, he has had a little bit of a quiet week, since returning, but it won't take him too long to get back into that winner's enclosure.
We'll be looking at the slides and the statistics from the Jockey Club website shortly as well, so we'll be moving on to that shortly. Julie, you got some news as well.
Yes, Vercingetorix, arguably one of South Africa's best recent exports, says De Kock, and I have to agree with him. He's just an incredible sort. He's produced the goods all over the world, and I thought, he did superbly well in Dubai, Grant, and it'd be great to see him carry on his career now going forward.
He was a little bit unlucky, actually, when they took him to Hong Kong, because he didn't get the first opportunity to break away when some of those front row leaders did. And he certainly ran on pretty gamely. And what Mike de Kock did say on his website as well is that he didn't travel very well after that. And he lost a lot of weight, and he's given him a well-deserved rest out in Newmarket. And it'll be very interesting to see where he goes next. But certainly, Mike de Kock says there's lots to look forward to about him.
And I'd be interested to see if Mike de Kock takes him back to Hong Kong for the Hong Kong international races, because I think then, being an older horse, having the time to recover from his travels, I think he's going to take a lot of beating.
I'd love to see Shay Shay there too for the sprint.
For the 1200-metre sprint. I said it last year, I'll say it again. I think Shay Shay will love that short track.
Can't wait to see if both of those get the opportunity.
I wonder if we'll get the opportunity to go over there again.
Well, I promise you, if those two horses are there, there's no doubting that we'll be making every effort.
You'll be there, that's for sure. Oh. Where Shay Shay goes, you go.
100%.
And Variety Club.
Absolutely. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. Right, let's take a look at what's happening with the Jockey Club stats. And we'll start off with the jockeys. Samanga Kamala, there he is on top. 179 wins, playing against 141 wins of Richard Fourie. And what a day yesterday, just chatting further down, you can see Grant van Niekerk, he's on 95. Well, he rode a six-timer at Kenilworth, and that was a fantastic achievement yesterday.
Youngster coming through the ranks. I've always rated him. He showed that he had a bit of class as an apprentice, and it's nice that he's got the confidence and he's putting it together well. Anthony Delpeche also enjoyed a good day out at Clarewood yesterday, and he's he's top in that fifth position. I know there's a huge challenge on for the top five, because they try to make the South African team for those international races when they take on the international jocks. So the guys really try and get into the top five.
Not much separating the fifth and the sixth there, just two wins with Gavin creeping
Yeah.
up there as well. But if you actually were to take Samanga out of the equation, it would be one of the tightest jockey races that we've had for a long time.
Well, you know, Richard Fourie was right on Samanga's tail just before his fall. And I think if the manner in which Richard was riding prior to his injury,
He was closing the
he
gap,
was closing the gap, he was putting the pressure on. And it's unfortunate it had to happen to Richard, because I think we would have been in for a tremendous jockey's title and fight for that Jockey's Championship.
Now have a look at the stakes earned by Samanga Kamala and Richard Fourie. They're both up there in the 15 millions. But if you go down, Anton Marcus, with probably 35% of the rides, he's up there in the same sort of prize money bracket.
Well, you've got to say, only 441 rides. He's had 114 wins.
Unbelievable statistic, isn't it?
Unbelievable percentage of victories over there for Anton Marcus. And you can see, you know, your quality guys, even though they're not going for the championships, they try and keep their percentage as high as possible. And that for them, I think, certainly helps.
There we go. Let's move on to the top 10 trainers. Justin Snaith, well, he's pretty much wrapped up the champion trainer's position, hasn't he?
Absolutely. We said it in the previous show, whoever wins the Vodacom Durban July, I mean, that was tight at one stage between Justin Snaith, Jeff Woodruff, both having very strong hands going forward into the Vodacom Durban July. And we said that day will decipher who gets the top champion trainer of the season. And of course, Justin Snaith having a superb day out at Greyville last week. He's got that total stakes of 18,813,000, over 4 million in front of Jeff Woodruff.
Now have a look at the statistics there as well. With Jeff Woodruff, just 323. He's 900 runners behind Justin, but only 4 million behind in prize money. What a season for a yard that's had such a small number of runners in comparison.
Very much so. He had a fantastic season up on the Highveld, having won almost every Grade 1 event. You know, when you think of it, with Jeff Woodruff, and of course, you know, Louis the King winning the Triple Crown. That has to be it's got to be a huge feather in your cap.
If by any chance Jeff had run 1-2 in the July with Louis the King and Rake's
Yeah,
Chestnut,
it would have turned everything.
the whole competition would have been wide open again. So it was really all the way down to the wire when it came to the Durban July. So great to see those stats as well. But now let's move on to the top breeders. And here we see Claverflay just managing to get the better of Summerhill at this stage, but still some way to go. And Main Chance Farms right behind in third. And it's going to be a closely fought battle for that third place with Highlands and Main Chance as well, because they've got plenty of good runners out on the track at the moment. And it's going to be a fantastic end to the season insofar as the breeder stats are concerned.
Always exciting, the breeders, because there's been a huge battle between Claverflay and Summerhill over the last couple of years. Summerhill have always just been able to edge out Claverflay, but when we've heard Mick Goss's speeches at the Equus Awards, he's always said Claverflay is getting stronger year by year, and it always kind of throws him off the pedal a little bit. I think now that Claverflay has hit the front, I don't know if Summerhill will be able to fight back.
No, listen, I don't put anything past Mr. Goss. He's going to be rattling up, and it's going to go all the way down to the Gold Cup meeting, as it has done the last 3 seasons now. And certainly going to be nail-biting stuff. So that's the breeders' log as we move on to the sires. And unbelievable there, Jetmaster sits again. And now you think that Jetmaster is sitting on top with 18 million in stakes. And all we've been hearing really about is Dynasty winning the July, Dynasty winning this feature, Dynasty winning that feature. And he can't get to where Jetmaster is.
It's fantastic. I think it's just because Jetmaster has got the progeny behind him. You know, he's been around. Dynasty's still a young and up-and-coming sire. I don't think Dynasty is going to remain second for too much longer, though.
Well, he certainly breeds the type of horse that can win you the big races. And I think that's probably where his attributes are going to be strengthened when it comes to being the champion sire at some stage. In terms of number of winners, Jetmaster also tops that with 198. Silvano 191, Captain L 189. So those top stallions, well, they really do dominate when it comes to the big races, don't they?
Very much so. And interesting to see Black Manalush. I mean, who would we have thought where Black Manalush was last season, and he's now in the top 5 for this season. It's fantastic to see. And of course, Louis the King promoting the stallion, of course, with the Triple Crown. But take nothing away from Captain L, because even though he's sitting third on the top 10 sires, I think he's still dominating the juveniles.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on to that, and you can see there he is. He's had 32 winners, and his total stakes 2.4 million rand. So Captain L top of the pops when it comes to the 2-year-olds again. Trippy is back in second with 1.9. Cell from Seattle, 1.2. And this will be one of the, I think it's the 5th or 6th in a row that Captain L comes out on top of the juvenile stats. So well done to all those guys who represent those stallions. It's certainly going to be a nail-biting end to the season in most of those categories, except really the trainer and the jock, which are pretty much wrapped up. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back just after this.
So number 14, All Is Secret, is victorious. Well Witcher.
And for the lads won it.
Shay takes the lead. Shay wins the Elgos.
Bounded away from them.
And very well done to Sean and to Chris. I think they've got a bit of a horse in their hands.
Peregrine on the far inside, but Pomodora. And Pomodora stays on the better one well today.
He is really a nice horse to ride.
Pomodora in the middle's picked it up in the closing stages. And Pomodora has raced away and has won it well.
He just stamped himself as a top 3-year-old in the country.
Smanji and Pomodora. Here comes the line. Very close. Maybe Smanji in a photo.
And I'm excited for Pomodoro to get to stud, and I'm excited for him to start producing. It's just a whole new adventure and a whole new start, and believe you me, when Chris and I see them in the ring, we will put our head down.
So ex-Vodacom Durban July winner Pomodoro off to stud, and as you can see, he is ready for syndication. He will be standing out at Klavervlei Stud. We're certainly looking forward to seeing his progeny hit the racetrack running. And of course, so you can contact Grant if you are interested in getting involved in Pomodoro the Stallion. Well, in our Getting to Know section, it is my pleasure to welcome into the studio this evening David Nieuwenhuisen, who is off a high because, David, you won the eThekwini Fillies Stakes with Virgo's Babe. Congratulations, and great to have you on Breeding to Win.
Thanks very much, Julie. It's a pleasure being here. It was a great win for July, especially for a small trainer. It's you just hope to have a runner on the day in one of the races, and to have a winner is really special. So it was really good, and it was strangely enough, it turned out really well for one of the owners that had a bit of a tough day.
Michael Leaf. I mean, let's just touch on Michael Leaf before we carry on with your career and going forward with your horses, because I have to say, what an incredible sportsman. Having the Vodacom Durban July taken away from you, having the highs, the lows, I mean, it must have been terrible feeling for him. Only one can imagine. Then having one with Virgo's Babe and going on air and being so diplomatic and such a professional sportsman, I take my hat off to him.
Yeah, absolutely, Julie. I try to keep away from him the whole day. I hadn't seen him during the day, and after the July I kept away as well. He's got his own mind on what he has to do for the rest of the day, with all the pressure that he went through in the boardroom and that. So I thought, no, look, it's just leave him alone and we'll see him at our race. And it turned out fantastically well. And, it really, I thought maybe, just gave him something back into racing again.
Absolutely. He deserved that victory, definitely. Now let's talk about Virgo's Babe, because only a 10,000 Rand purchase, and boy, look what she's done for you.
Julie, she's been a kind of turnaround for the stable for me. She came through to the stable as just a 10,000 Rand purchase. Not much, not something that I was looking forward to when it came in. She really didn't look like much. It was, I said to the owners, try and go get yourself a Bezran, something that's bread and butter. or modern day at that period. And the male hub arrived at the stable, and she was nothing special to look at. She had a nice top line and everything, but gee, those legs were not great, you know. And both turned in both 4, and you know, I had to work with that, and I had to work with every horse that comes in. But she just turned out to be pretty special at that period of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it just shows you, hey, it doesn't really matter what they look like, it's what inside that counts. You know, so many trainers will tell you some horses have just got bigger hearts than the others, they put in more, and she's one of those fillies. When she gets into a battle, she just doesn't want to give up.
Julie, if you allow her to get into the battle, she'll fight all the way to the line. She likes somebody that's very, very confident on top of her. She feels it, and she'll run all the way to the line, and she will put her head down at the right time. You know, she just needs to feel like she can do it, and she will. And she really has a heart. And there's very few horses that actually run for the line and will try all the way through to the line.
Absolutely, and she definitely is one of them. Let's just go back a little bit. Tell us how you got involved in racing and what made you want to become a trainer.
Julie, I was always small-framed, small guy. A friend of mine, mother, used to always play the horses. We used to watch it on TV. They used to, I think, play the jackpot, televise the jackpot legs, and kind of always had that interest in it. And but my family as well. I had a great-grandfather that used to ride, but in those days, in the early 1900s, it was tough. They really had a hard life. It wasn't what you see of the jockeys of today. They really had to work extremely hard. You know, the hours they had to put in, and they really got little back for it. So the family never pushed me towards it. But you know, I got married to Heather, and Heather is Brian Weed's cousin, and things developed from there. I missed the opportunity to go and be a jockey myself. Where I had to be in standard 7, 13 to 14 years of age. I think that was the window period that we were allowed to go in at the academy at that time. If you missed it, you basically missed your career.
And there, of course, in going back to your day, there were no work riders races that you could, well, there were, but it wasn't as often as we've got now. There wasn't a real James Marie program where you could actually come out of it and try and get to become a jockey.
Sure, yeah. You know, at the same time, it's the James Marie did start up when I was still a stable employee and assistant trainer. But it really wasn't made for us. It was more for, you know, to bring the underprivileged through into the game.
It wasn't as developed as it is now.
Absolutely, yeah. Originally, I think they had one or two work riders race meetings a year, if that. And then when James started, it's actually become pretty popular, or you can say they've really developed it. And I rode in 2 of the races. Went through James's school, which was really good of them, you know. And at that point in that, I always wanted to be a jockey, but never got the opportunity. It never developed to that. And eventually, I became assistant trainer, and from there, it just progressed to obviously becoming a trainer.
Okay, you started your career with how many horses?
Originally, we had 5 in the stable. 3 were never went through the sales ring. They were just basically leased to me. And they were a bit of a struggle, swaybacks and horses that you really wouldn't put into racing. But we succeeded with them. And from there, it was really, really tough at the beginning. You know, I was at the Vaal race course. I wanted to be a Turffontein. I stayed very far away from the Vaal, and to travel there was quite a mission to get there and back every day. And when I got the opportunity, you know, I took it up at the Vaal, but there was no real doors opened up. We tried to, we had all the promises of horses coming through to the stable. Those never developed. I had a decent owner that came through, Mr. Fred Thompson. He helped me out. It was still very, very tough at the Vaal, and eventually I got the opportunity at Turffontein and to go through there, and things changed. It's you know, when you're happy, things develop.
Yeah.
Things happen for you.
And then your first winner arrived, Nombelelo.
Yeah, that was at the Vaal race course, yeah. Nombelelo won for me with Kevin Dereri up. She was 5-1. She was my first winner. She was a 5,000 rand purchase, also from a dispersal sale. So I've really worked with a lot of chuckouts, a lot of horses that have had problems. Horses come from other stables with problems. Never really had the opportunity to develop young horses. And I think that's where my forte lies.
Well, you had your chance with Virgo's Babe, I think, and you've proved yourself with that.
Yeah, absolutely. But you still need the horse. The horse has to have the ability. a trainer can train as many racehorses as they want, but if you don't have horses with ability, you're going to struggle.
Absolutely. And it is a struggle when you start out, especially only with 5 horses, because, you know, to be fair, when you're competing with against trainers with 100 and 200 horses, I mean, it's minute what you're actually working with,
Yeah,
and to try and compete.
Yeah, you've absolutely no chance. You don't have a chance to develop, for people to take notice of you. It's really a hard road, and you need a lot of backing. You need, and at the end of the day, the backing comes from when you develop friendships, and I think that's when other people start believing in you. But obviously, you're only really seen and noticed once you have winners, and once people start seeing that you actually put in your winners in the correct races, and then they go on from there. You know, so.
And great now that you've got Green Crest. I know, you know, things didn't really work out for her on July Day, but she's a filly that also looks like she's got potential.
Jules, she has great potential. She knows how to switch it off. If you try and rush her early, honestly, she kind of doesn't get into the race. You need to just leave her alone, let her decide when she's ready to run. But she has got gears, and when you turn her on the last 400, she'll give you a kick not just once but twice. And I think she's a serious filly when she's a 3-year-old now. So.
And great partnership that they've got involved in this horse, because I know the guys from Sizwe are very much part of your stable now, and they're actually having a lot of fun with you.
Yeah, they are. They came into Green Crest as this is their first purchase with me. We went down to the Natal sales last year, and a friend of mine, Wayne, and we looked around. We really looked for cheap horses in that sense, and we were hoping to get lucky, and you never expect to get lucky. And we looked all over the place, and eventually we purchased 3 horses from there. We got the Sizwe guys that promised that they would come into
Scott
the horse.
and William.
Scott and William. Together their share, they've taken up a percentage of her. Wayne and Suzanne's got the other percentage, and Heather and myself have got the other third. So, you know, and it wasn't just the one horse, it was in 3 horses. And so we thought we'd rather get a couple of horses to race and see what happens. Look at Green Crest brother, and that the joke was that we always said, as long as she's just a little bit better than the brother never won a race. I don't think he finished anywhere closer than 15 lengths behind. So for her to come out and do what she has done now, and but she did show me and that she's got ability, and you have to learn the horses. You have to learn how they want to run, and I think that's very, very important to actually understand the horse, because if you don't understand how they want to run in a race, you don't get the best out of them. If you give in the wrong instructions to jockeys, let's put it this way, if you put up the top jockeys, they can ride the race themselves and feel what the horses are about. But you know, often you have to give the jockeys instructions. If you give them the wrong instructions, you expect them to ride 2 instructions. It's very, very difficult to get the best out of the horse. So it's very good to get a horse ready at the right time, put them in the right races, find the right races. I think that's the preparation of it. You have to look at the field and see if you can beat it. If you can't beat the field, why are you in the race? So you have to place them correctly. So, if they're limited, try find them the most limited race that you can. Otherwise, you're not going to succeed with them.
Well, full marks to you, because you've done a great job. How many horses are you sitting with at the moment?
At the moment, look, it's picked up a lot. We've got 21. Hopefully this week it's going to be 23. We should be getting 2 more yearlings through. We've got a lot of young horses in the stable. I've got two 3-year-olds, and then we've got 4 older horses which are 5 and 6 years old. They will be retired now, end of the season. There's one filly one mare that I would like to carry on with. She's got the ability to win, but you know, when the horses get to the period where they should be retired, send them out to good homes. They deserve it. You have to place them after racing to very good homes so that they can enjoy their life. And but the whole thing about racing is I'm trying to keep my stable compact, horses in the stable that you've got an opportunity to develop with them or opportunity to win races. When a horse is in this place, you really have to let them go. So.
Yeah, I think you're going on the right track there, David, and we wish you all the very best. Hopefully there'll be plenty more Virgo babes coming through the ranks from your 20 horses that you've got now. I know Green Crest is going to be one of your stars coming up, and we wish you all the very best with her as well.
Thank you very much, Jules. Thank you.
Right, we're going to take a short break, come back, and Grant Knowles will be telling us more.
Well, the Taj Hotel certainly has a value for money, and it's one of the nicest hotels I've ever been to, and certainly one of the best curry restaurants as well, the Bombay Brasserie. Well worth a visit. But speaking about back in Cape Town, Mike Robinson is a trainer who's done really well as well since going out on his own. He's based out at Philippi, and Vicky Minot went out to chat to him.
We like to keep things simple. We stick to basics, and we do a lot of work in the yard ourselves. I just find the more hands-on you are, the more in control you are of things happening in the yard. At this stage we're a small yard, and attention to detail is basically what we like to do, and we like to be more hands-on.
How many horses do you have in training?
Currently I have 22, and which I think about 8 or 9 are actually racing at the moment.
Mark, what are some of the best horses in your yard at the moment?
Definitely Blarney Bay. He's really turned the yard around. He's been very good to us. Tipiana Moon, he's been very good to us over the years. Yeah, Hot Affair, I mean, she's done us so proud. She's such a nice filly too. Aromatics won her second start a few weeks ago. And the rest are all unraced 2-year-olds, which we're busy getting ready, and looking forward to some of them running.
What is your win place percentage at the moment? It's quite a high rate.
Yeah, I think we're sitting at about 25-26%. So when we send a horse to the course, we like them to run well. I like my horses to go to the course as fit as possible. I don't like to stress them too much at home. I take them for regular grass gallops. But generally it's just it's what the horse is telling me. When they're ready to go that next step. When I listen to the horse, and I just watch what they're doing. The horses thrive here, I must say. They love the sand. They love rolling after their work.
Mike, how many winners have you had this season?
At this stage, we've had 12. And a couple of places, so yeah, very happy with that.
What is the best advice someone's given you?
Dennis Dry, I must say, he's been my mentor. He was a good taskmaster, and he actually taught me a lot of things. How to be patient and the whole hands-on approach. And Dennis is quite a perfectionist himself, and it also taught me to keep a very strict regime in the yard as far as cleanliness goes. Checking legs, all the little simple things that people tend to miss now and again. Dennis had a very sharp eye for all those things. The phone call is still the best way of communicating with owners. There's Twitter, there's Facebook. It's nice letting people out there know about your runners and things like that. But communicating with owners was another thing I learned from Dennis, and the only way was pick up the phone and just phone the owner. With all this technology out there today, it is so important. And we acquired a little video camera, and we film the gallops, we upload it on YouTube, and we just email the links to our owners. Caitlin takes a lot of pictures for me as well. She's very good with taking photos, and it's nice because then we upload the photos on email, and we just email them directly to the owners, explain to them what their horses have done for the morning's work, and they love it. The owners love to know what's going on. From having worked at Drakenstein, I met a lot of influential owners, and that it helped a lot. And when we went on our own, just the right people came along, and joined the team, and it was so amazing to start off with what we had and where we are now already. And from the smallest owner to the biggest owner, I mean, it's just unbelievable, and they're all supportive. We all get on very well, and it's just wonderful. We have a bacon and egg roll morning. The owners love it. They come out here and they enjoy it. We want to make things fun for the owners. When we go to the gallops, we like to take a flask or two with, and some rusks, and let them enjoy it, watch the gallops, have a rusk and a cup of coffee. And but yeah, at the yard on a Saturday morning, we do try and make it as entertaining for owners as possible, because we want them to come to the yard. We want them to come watch their horses work. We want them to build a close relationship with their horses.
Luella, your wife, is obviously she comes from the horse background as well. Do you think it really complements your training having someone to discuss that with?
she's my extra set of eyes in the yard, and she picks up things that I miss sometimes, and vice versa. So we do complement each other. We do get along like a house on fire, and we do manage to work. Of course, being a married couple, you have your days, but generally, with her knowledge and her background, it is vitally important. Our daughter is just horse crazy. Caitlin is just besotted with the racehorses. She's got her own little pony just down the road from where we stay, but she's our main source of carrot and apple feeder to these horses that we've got here, and she just loves it. She's part of the family, she's part of the team.
Is it important to feed well when you're working your horses hard?
We feed very well, I must say, and working for so many trainers, or for 3 other trainers in my career, I've learned different techniques. But being on my own, it's been a whole learning curve, and I've just found that each horse is an individual, and each horse doesn't eat the same as the one next door. And feeding, I must say, the feeding in our yard is of a very high standard and a very high quality. What you put in is what they give back. It's our love for horses. It's our kind approach that we have towards the horses. They come first, and we'd rather starve at home and feed our horses more. I just think that's basically how we operate. We got a Facebook page, Mike Robinson Racing. I'm myself on Facebook as well as Mike Robinson. We're on Twitter as well as Mike Lou _Robinson, and then obviously our email address, mikerobinsonracing@gmail.com. So we're using all the media that we can, and we are out there. We just haven't launched a website yet, but that will be coming in the near future.
New Turf Carriers is a family-run business owned by Mark and Dorrie Sham and their 3 sons, Michael, Matthew and Marcus. New Turf Carriers has been in long-distance transport since 1995 and pride themselves in excellent service, punctuality and loyalty to their clients. Every single stud farm and every single sale to every single racecourse, New Turf Carriers pride themselves in delivering your horse safely. The welfare of your horse is paramount, and it is to this end that we have our own midway stop between Johannesburg and Cape Town. This is situated at Colesberg, where we have a stabling facility for 60 horses, so that the horses on long trips can get off and have a rest during their journey. The bottom line is, New Turf Carriers take your horse from door to door with pride, passion and punctuality.
Gavel House is the leading website for trading horses online. Selling your racehorse, mare or even a share in a yearling is so easy on Gavel House. You can browse our sires directory to match the best mating for your mare with text description, videos and up-to-date sires reports. Gavelhouse.com is the best way to sell your horse. We reach places others can't, where buyers and sellers deal direct and pay no commission. Go to gavelhouse.com.
Well, Gavel House once again have two slides available promoting two individuals. The first one is Wakiano. This is by AP Arrow out of Rambo's Gem. She's a 2011 filly. They're looking for 60,000 Rand. And this is an impressive filly with a ticket for the Ready to Run Cup. If you are interested, you need to contact Warren van der Pfeiffer. And just a couple of comments on the filly. She's a beautiful 2-year-old unraced filly. She's well developed with plenty of scope. She's eligible for the Ready to Run Cup. Her dam, Rambo's Gem, is a full sister to dual graded stakes winner Rambo's Jewel. So a proven family, and obviously someone that you're certainly going to have a bit of a ticket for that Ready to Run Cup too if you get involved. That's Wakiana by AP Arrow. Next horse on offer is Radical Man. He's by Visionaire, and he's out of Lizabella. He's a 2012 colt. They're looking for 50,000 Rand. Superbly bred colt from a half-sister to champion miler Livadea. And if you are interested, you need to contact Hendrik Winterbach Jr. in the Western Cape. He's an impressive-looking athletic colt from an international family. And Lizabella is also a half-sister to multiple Group 1 winner Lingari, who raced in Germany and Italy. Two individuals up for grabs on Gavel House, and Gavel House certainly one of the key sponsors of breeding to win. Right, Jules, interesting show. Great to hear and have a guy like David in the studio. Certainly seems to have his head screwed on the right way, and he's done well with some really cheap horses.
He has, you know, and it's interesting to see how these guys actually start with 5 horses. I mean, you think...
Big career move, huh?
Huge, you know, and it takes them years and years and years to actually bring their stable up. But it's amazing how one horse can actually turn your whole career around. And at the end of the day, that's all you need.
Absolutely, and to have a winner on the big stage like Vodacom Durban July Day as well, it certainly puts your name up in lights.
Very much so. So always great. And always great to have you in the studio working with me, Grant.
Thanks, Jules. Nice. And are you off to Gold Cup?
I am. Can you believe I got the nod to go Gold Cup? So, yes, I will be there, and I believe you will be there too.
I shall be there as well, but I'll be there with waving flags.
Okay, well, I'll be pulling for you, although I'm going to put it out there, I'm liking a bit of Alexander.
I know you would do. The name fits, doesn't it?
Does, eh?
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Well, from both Julie and myself, we certainly hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back next week. And obviously, the countdown for the end of the season is looming. Lots of races still certainly in the balance, and we're looking forward to seeing how those all pan out come the end of the season. Julie, thanks very much.
Thank you, Grant, and of course, enjoy your flight back to Cape Town.
Thanks very much.